everybody, it's Connie with Connie's Crafty Corner. I hope everybody's having a great day. Today is December the 10th. It's a Tuesday. I just got back from the eye doctor just a little bit ago, and I thought since I looked halfway presentable that I would sit down and film a video. And the famous words of Carrie Penny, life has been lifing. I'm telling you, I have been so busy since my last video. I've been out of town 2 times in the past 3 weeks, and I'm going out of town again tomorrow. So it's just been very busy, but I have been working on a few things. I'm going to share what I've been working on with you guys, and then I'm going to tell you everything that's been going on for the past 3 weeks. So let me show you the first thing. Now, my daughter has been wanting this for about probably a year, and in true Connie fashion, I got to it about a year later because, you know, we've moved and everything. I've got good excuses, but this is the first thing. It's slightly damp, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. I actually hand embroidered his name, gosh, R-O-W-A-N, and that doesn't even look like an A, but I did this, and this is for Rowan, and I've started one for the new baby, and his name is Bodie. Now, she wanted them oversized. I'll tell you what this is in just a second, because she, you know, that's the look she likes. And plus, Bodie, she wanted one that he could probably wear again next year. And Rowan will probably be able to wear this one next year also. But this has just been wonderful. Let me show it to you. I actually printed out the name in a font that I liked and traced it onto this paper. This, I don't know if you can see it because, well, let me take it out of this. Sticky water-soluble paper stabilizer. Now, this is actually, I'm starting my 3rd sweater that I've done like this. And I got these sweaters off Amazon, and I'll try to link them for you. I really like them. They don't have the size in them or anything, but they feel good. I think they're cotton. But that stabilizer has been a game changer, because the last time, the first one I did for this, one of my daughter's best friends, I drew it on with one of the erasable markers, you know, that you can wet. It terrified me, but I had to freehand it. And this just makes it so much easier. First of all, this paper stabilizes it, so it's easier to do, you know, to work your stitches. And it honestly, it rinsed away so well. I was worried, but you can't really tell. See the difference? There's with it on. And I just dunked it in some cold water, or, you know, lukewarm water, and let it sit for just a little bit and kind of agitated it around, and then squeezed it out in a towel and threw it in a dryer, like on low heat for a while and then medium-high heat. I didn't know how this, you know, would do in a dryer, so, but it did fine. I mean, you can't even tell it's been put through. But this is the first thing that I'm showing you that I've completed. I've actually completed couple more things and started and failed at a couple things, and I'll show you those. Also, I got a couple of ideas for crafters that you may want to stick on your last minute Christmas gift list. So I've got these done. Well, I had also bought the blue ones, and this is Rowan's, and this is Bodie's. It's kind of a powdery blue. Well, Sarah was telling me, and I did the darker color sweater first because I thought fall, winter, you know, and then this would be like a wintry spring thing. But she's decided that this one, which is a 12-month, she's going to put Bodie in and take the monthly pictures. You know, when Rowan was a baby, I did a new outfit every single month, and she said she honestly don't have the energy to do that. In fact, she probably wasn't even going to do the monthly pictures. She said she's just in real life now with a toddler who just turned 2 and then a newborn. But she's going to put this on him every month and show how he grows, you know, how he grows by the size of the sweater. And I thought that was such a good idea. But that means I have to get this done in like the next day. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. And I'm actually going tomorrow to Sarah's because she's not traveling over Christmas because of having a newborn, and she wants to make sure he gets his first round of vaccines and all that. And RSV and just all the things that you worry about with a newborn that, in all honesty, I don't think I even thought about when my babies were little, but the internet opened your eyes to a lot of things, I guess. But I'm going to see her for the, next 2 or 3 days. And then then I got more travel the next week. But let me get back to this. My point of telling you guys that is that I'm going to work on the blue sweaters while I'm there. So hopefully I can get those both done so she can use them for her monthly pictures. But, okay, the next thing I'm working on that's a finished object is, surprise, surprise, the dragon scale shawl. I think that's what it's called. I got it laid here on the floor. Hold just a second, I'll get it. When I tell y'all I'm obsessed with this shawl, I am completely obsessed with it. So I thought, okay, let's try something besides Christmas. I was going to show you, yeah. It's a free pattern you get on Hobie's website. I've had it linked in the last couple of videos, but I'll link it again. It's this one. Okay. I thought I'd try it in a different yarn, so I picked 2 fingering weight yarns that I had, and I actually had, I ended up using almost all of 3. In fact, I can show you what I had left. I had this little bit of, this is like a 400-something skein yarn. I used 1 hole of this. And then I just used this much of another one. I just used, this is about a half of a skein of a fingering weight. So it used almost 2 whole ones, probably would have got it done, but I alternated colors. And this is the finished object, and I gotta tell you a dumb mistake I made. I'm so mad at myself too. So this is it. Y'all, I don't know what it is about this. I think because, let me get it up close so y'all can see. The reason I use the 2 different colors, like this and this, they're the same color, but when you do hand-dyed yarn, they don't always look the same, and one was much darker than the other. So I used the lighter one to make the stripes, and then I did the ruffle in the one that was a darker color. And if you could have been able to tell that in the shawl, probably not, but it just made me feel better that way. So this is it. I've only done one more. I finished another one, and I have started, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 or 5 that I've done. I'm telling you, it's bad. I've got to stop. But anyway, I've got this that I finished, and I'm very proud of it. I got to tell you the dumb mistake I had. Okay. I was alternating every 2 rows, okay? And I don't know why I did this. I actually cut the yarn and did a magic knot between each color change until I got down to almost the end. And I thought, what are you doing? I think you can tell right there's where I did my last color change. It's how much better it looks across there because I carried the yarn. Why I did not do that, I have no idea. And it went so much faster. You can only imagine how many times I was cutting and doing, y'all, my hair, look, is everywhere. That I was cutting all this yarn. I did the first few in just the cream. But then I did all these color changes where I cut the yarn. And it just clicked in my head when I got toward the end of it. Connie, you nuts. You could have been carrying that yarn through the whole thing. So, but needless to say, I got it done. And my husband actually loves these shawls. He just loves them. In fact, he loves them so much, he persuaded me to use one of them. And it's the one that's like, it's one of the Christmas yarns, but it had the pink in it. I showed it in the last video or 2 as a white elephant gift at a Christmas party we just went to in North Carolina. So that was one of the trips we made. Y'all, I've got a little bit of a sniffly nose, and I apologize. I'm trying to be mindful and not do it, but sometimes you'll do things and don't realize you're doing it. But anyway, I gave it as a white elephant gift. Nobody stole it, but it didn't offend me because the woman that got it, I think, liked it. I don't know. But it was a gift that was done, and I loved it. So anyway, but of course, I wanted to try it in a different yarn. So I had 3 skeins of Scarfie that I've had laying around forever, and I'm really trying to use up yarn that I actually have. I'm not going to talk about the knit picks order I made just a few minutes ago, but my husband is wanting a cardigan. He's asked me for one for like 2 years, and I don't have enough of one color to make him a cardigan. So I broke down, and they have a 25% off sale. I think it's KP Black 25 is the code, and it's 25% off their whole site. So I just ordered enough to do him a cardigan. So because it's a gift, I don't feel bad about ordering it. But anyway, here it is in the scarfie. And I basically just did it until I got close to the end of a skein. Not quite close to all the way to the end, but just enough to where I would feel good about making sure I could finish it with the 3 skeins I had. But it is so snuggly and so warm and so soft. This is how it works up, but that's a bulky yarn, the scarfie is. And I've got the ball bands, but you guys, I don't have them right in here with me, but I think this is beautiful. I think it turned out so pretty. So, and you know, you can wear these this way. You can put them across your shoulders. This one's big enough to where it could just, it's just wonderful. I love it. But can't keep it on too long because it is like 60-something degrees today, and we've already had snow twice. So the temperatures have just been going crazy. So, but anyway, I love this. I think it's so pretty. It just, I just think the way it falls on me is the reason I love it so much. Because, you know, I've made a lot of shawls in this shape, but with that ruff on the edge, I think that's just what does it for me. I love it. But I love this scarfie yarn. I think it worked up really nicely for this pattern. But I want to make 10 more, but I'm not going to. I've got to find something else I'm obsessed with. Well, let me show you a project that I just stopped working on, and I don't know where I'm going to go with it. And then I'm going to show you a slight fail. I may go back and fix it. I may not. Y'all, I've got stuff just piled up here. I'll tell you why it's such a mess in a minute. I was going to do an Afghan for the White Elephant gift. They call it Secret Santa, Dirty Santa, whatever. You know, where you steal the presents. And I started this, and this is how that Premier yarn that, you know, the first that came out. I made a ton of these hexagons. And you know how the Premier has all these different shades through it. And I actually made a whole lot more than the pattern called for. And I can't remember where I got the pattern. I think it's off Premier's website. If I can find it, I will link it. But I made just a whole bunch. All of these. Okay. I laid it out and I hated it because so uneven on the edges with it being hexagon shaped. It really wasn't big enough to make one that I felt would be good enough for a big lap size blanket. I mean, it was probably fine, but you know, I was going to use it as a gift and I wanted it to be a certain way and it wasn't. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make a bunch of these half hexagons, right? Well, I decided I didn't want to do that. So I thought, well, I'll throw green in. So I made one green and I was just going to, you know, intermingle them. Then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. It's too much thinking. So I have put this aside for right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I probably will eventually piece it together and just finish it off as a little throw Afghan. I can't really remember what size it came up to either, but when and if this ever gets finished, I'll make sure and show you guys. So that was kind of a fail, but it kept my hands busy, which I very much enjoy. I have to have something to do if I'm just sitting watching TV. So that was a very mindless, easy project that didn't get finished. Okay. I'll show you something that I'm working on, and then I'll show you something that I failed sort of at, and then I will show you a couple gift ideas. I think I have 3. Yeah. Okay, I started another dragon scale shawl, or whatever they're called, because I'm obsessed. I'm telling you, I just think it turns out so pretty. And I have a bunch of this yarn, and I thought, I'm going to just work on these until I run out of the yarn, and then next year I'm going to give them to some family members for Christmas. So, and I have got the pattern completely memorized, and I just love sitting watching TV, just doing something that turns out so pretty, and I love the fact that it changes colors. It keeps me interested, and I can watch TV, watch a movie, watch it, you know, do whatever doing it. But this is the last one I'm doing until I get a few more projects finished. I'm not promising. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that goes there. And this goes, well, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just throwing stuff in the floor. I've got a mess. Okay. I watched Debbie at the Canadian Crochet. I can't say that word. I love her. and she made this Afghan that I thought was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And it's from another YouTube website, or, YouTube channel. Y'all want to take a little sip of my Diet Coke? Hold on. And I thought that would be so pretty. I'm going to do it. I've got a ton of these Premier bobbins, right? Or all up here. And when they had that huge clearance, I racked up. So I picked, I don't think I have the color. It's the one that's like this. It's got the kind of pink and the kind of a cranberry, and then that in the middle, and then just the black and gray. To do this. And it's so simple. It's basically, you do a chain, you do another single chain. I'll send you the website. But it's just basically where you do this like open type stitch, where it's a double crochet, chain stitch, double crochet all the way across. And then you cut lengths of your yarn and you weave it, following a certain pattern how she tells you to do it. So I got all the way to where I was putting my final color on. And y'all, if y'all remember, on this other Afghan, I picked up the wrong crochet hook. So I did a whole size different from this end, and I started somewhere right in here and went to a whole size different hook. And it's noticeably, if I had it laid out, you really could tell it. So whether I go back to this, trying to figure out where I had started and the difference or not, I'm thinking about, I don't know. I've put a lot of work into that, so I may go back and try to figure it out. But I'm so frustrated because what's going to happen is I'm going to run out of the color. I may not do that. I may break this down. I thought about just using it for some granny squares, and because I've been dying to make a granny square cardigan, and I thought, that'd be a pretty cool color combination. So I may just end up doing that. So this was kind of a fail. It was going to be beautiful. Do I plan on making another one? Yes. Do I plan on writing down the crochet hook I'm using? Yes. And do I plan on keeping that hook with the project? Yes, I'm going to. Okay. And then I have 1, 2, 3 gift ideas. And I've shown you one of these before. But, okay. It's this little thing here. And I think I got this off of Etsy or Amazon. I can't remember. I've had it for like 3 years, and I love it. And it's pretty. I think it's pretty too, but they sell a million different kinds of these. This one's been good. I've dropped it several times. See, I broke that little chip of wood out on the bottom, and every once in a while it would get loose and I have to tighten the screw up, but this thing has been wonderful. I know a lot of people that got these bobbins hated them because of the way they are, but y'all, I just popped this on here and I had no trouble with the yarn tangling. I just tucked the color I wasn't using in, and it just worked wonderful. So, I mean, for that alone, if you have any of these bobbins, one of these things are worth it. But I think this would be a great gift for people, especially if you have people who wind their yarn on yarn winders, or use things like this. Just, I don't know. I use it for mainly like these kind of little cakes. Cake yarn, it's perfect for. Okay, this came like this. Or the hand wound, I mean, not the kind you do the little thing and it winds it up. I can't think. You know what I mean? The yarn like this that you take and you put into a ball or whatever. It works so good for that. So I think that's an amazing gift. Okay, I've got one that I use for sewing, but I thought that people who crochet would love this gift. So I bought this for myself. Oh, I was going to show you. Here's the ones that I have. Oh, I brought the wrong ones. But this is how I basically just traced it. That's the other font that I'm going to use on the blue sweater. But it just comes like this, and you peel this off and just stick it to the sweater. It's genius. It works wonderful. But I got to make sure I find the right ones because those were the wrong size. I got to find the right ones. But let me show you this gift. I don't know if any of you are on any type of social media and you have looked up anything related to sewing. These little toolboxes, the Cobalt toolboxes, went completely crazy on sewing social media sites. I've got all my sewing stuff, and it's got the 2 drawers. Of course, I can't open it because I'm, oh, hold on. You know, they just slide out just like a little miniature toolbox you find in your garage or whatever. And I love them because they're small and they fit right next to my sewing machine. Now, I think I paid $19 for this one. Well, my husband, we were in Sam's about a week ago, and he was hunting his white elephant gift or Secret Santa or whatever for the man gift that he was buying. And he bought one that you find at Sam's. It's got a little handle on the top, and it's just a little metal tool chest. And he said, you know, if I ever got one of these for Christmas, I would love it. So I got to looking around, and I ended up getting him something different. But I got me another one of these things. And this is the other one. I got this off Amazon, and it was more expensive. It was either $24 or $27. But, you know, we're not buying each other Christmas presents this year. We're kind of getting stuff that we want. I did get him a couple of things because he is a child and loves opening presents, but that's okay with me. And I got this one. See, it's much bigger. What I may do is take a picture of them and post them at the end, but because they're heavy. Wait, let me see if I can do some finagling around here and use this little bobbin. That ain't gonna work because it ain't tall enough. Hold on, I'm determined to show you guys these beside each other. I'm probably going to drop one, then I'm going to cry. Y'all get to see me have a breakdown on camera. Okay. This is the difference. You see, it really is not that much bigger as far as the footprint, but it's taller. And I've got this with all the stuff that I use with my brother embroidery machine in it. So I'll show you a little bit. And this one is called Work Pro. And I got it off Amazon. See, it's got this. And in all honesty, y'all, this one feels, I like it. You know, I've just got stuff, you know, there's all my feet and stuff. The reason I love these things so much is that I've got several different sewing machines, sergers, cover stitch machines, embroidery. I've got a couple other sewing machines, and I've got, you know, they each use their own individual parts. And I love the fact that the two main machines I'm using, I've got everything just right set next to me, and I don't have to go looking for it because I've got my machines on tables and they don't have any drawers. And so it's just so nice to have this right next to you. And the reason I'm bringing it up to you guys that may not sew or have a need for a sewing machine, I thought this would be great to hold, you know, any kind of stitch markers, scissors, crochet hooks, you know, anything you use with your knitting. You wouldn't be able to get a whole lot of knitting supplies in these, but, you know, maybe the cords or some of your needles or whatever, you know, depends. But I just think something like this is so cute, and they do have a ton of different colors. But I thought that would be a good gift, a good suggestion for people who craft. I mean, I could find tons of reasons for these, you know, just thinking about, I saw people who like make jewelry. There was just all kinds of pictures of different crafts that people use these things for, but I just absolutely love them. And the last thing is, you know, you guys, I have tons of issues, especially with this hand. I've diagnosed myself with carpal tunnel. I mean, I wake up with my hand completely numb all the way up to my shoulder, can't sleep. Been dealing with that terribly here lately, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute when I give y'all a little life update. But, you know, you've seen those pillows everywhere that look like a breastfeeding pillow, but they're made for crocheters. And the ones I found were around $100. Well, I am not paying $100 for that when I can see if something else works better. And I paid $25 for this. And it's not the bumpy or boppy or whatever that people buy. It's one I got on Amazon, and it's called extra large because I've got a bigger bottom, and I want to make sure it went around me really nicely, and it does. It really, really makes a difference, you guys. But this is it. That's the back of it. And of course, here's the front. And when I first got it, I thought, God, it's not, you know, it comes all squished up. And I thought, it's not going to be enough support. I may have to put some more stuffing in it because it basically has this cover that just zips off. Let me see if I can. You know, I'm not prepared, y'all. It zips off, and it's just basically full of, like, chunks of fiber-filled polyester type stuff. Not really the stuff you'd stuff amigurumi with, but it's chunkier. I can't really describe it, but I thought if I ever wanted it, you know, more full, I could just stick some fiber y'all, that white fluffy stuff, y'all, my mouth and my brain are not working together. So anyway, I paid about $25 for this, and I've had it for about, probably since about the last time I filmed a video about 3 weeks ago, and I don't know how I ever crocheted without it, y'all. I just hook it around me, and because it's big, I kind of adjust it to where it just holds my elbows right at the perfect level, so while I'm crocheting, y'all, it just makes such a difference for me. It may not work for everybody, but it's really made a difference in how long I can go between my hand going numb and that type of thing. And y'all, I've got all the braces, I've got all the gloves, I got all the stuff. I'm just going to break down sometime next year when I get through doing this house and doing all the things I want to do, which will be never. So I'm probably just going to just do it and go get my wrist checked out. I know they're going to do a shot of some sort. Hopefully not, because I'm not going to do that, because, normally you end up having to have some type of surgery. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm guessing. So I guess I'm making excuses to not go to the doctor about it, because I'll go stretches and it don't bother me. And then it has been horrific the past month or so. But that's all I've got to show you guys. But I want to tell you what's been going on for the last 3 weeks. Okay. And I may repeat myself a little bit because I don't know what I've talked about since I started the video. So I'll try not to get too wordy. But y'all know me. You may want to get something to drink. Okay. The last video I made, we were getting ready. We knew Bodie was coming. It's Sarah's baby, Bodie Garrett. And Jeff and I were planning on coming. She was going to call us. Okay, the plan was, this was her second baby. And she had decided, she had a bunch of the women in the room with her last time, and a Garrett, of course, that she wanted it just to be an experience with her and Garrett. Sarah does totally natural delivery. And y'all, you know what's going to be funny? If I've already told you this and I filmed a video since then, I'm going to be so embarrassed because I really can't remember. But anyway, bear with me. Okay, she texted us that morning at 7 o'clock, said she thought she might be like, y'all, have I already done this in a video? I'm going to be so embarrassed. Y'all, I'm really about that crazy. But bottom line is, we get down there, we go to the hospital, and the girl was, I watched her literally go right straight through transition and to push, and had a baby in 40 minutes. And it was such a blessing because me and her daddy got to be in there, because she literally forgot we were there. And I was just waiting on her telling me to leave. But I videoed parts of her going through. She said she couldn't remember anything from her first delivery. So I videoed her and Garrett, dealing with contractions, Sarah, but Garrett being supportive. And we got to video the cord getting cut, and just so much of it that Sarah was so thankful that we were there. And y'all, to get to see a grandbaby come into the world, I'm telling you, it's just the most amazing thing. It's just unbelievable. Well, Sarah and I mean, y'all, I think I've told y'all this. I know I have. Have I? Anyway, I may have just told Sarah, but anyway, I'm going to tell it again. In case I haven't shared it with you. I honestly don't think I have, but I may have, because I'm half crazy. Well, y'all, I'm going to go back and check on my last video. That's how uncertain I am that I have told you this story or not. I may have just told it to somebody else. I'll be right back. For you to be 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Well, I'm not crazy. I actually posted the video on the 11th, and Bodie was born after that. So, no, I have not told you guys. So, I hope y'all just bear with me. Anyway, let me finish the story. Jeff and I were going to be staying at Sarah and Garrett's house and keeping Rowan. And then, keeping him in his routine, taking him to his daycare and everything. So we go to put him to bed that night. And he wants his mama. He's saying, Mama home, and just burst out crying. So me and Jeff made the executive grandma or papa and mama decision that we were going to just let him sleep with us. So we did, and y'all, it was just so wonderful. He went to sleep just as easy as he could. And but about 3:30, he decided he wanted his back tickled. So it was, tickle back, and then he'd doze off, and then he'd wake up, tickle back when I stopped. So that went on to about 6 o'clock, and that little precious thing, and I'd been up since 3:30 at this point, that little precious thing raised his little head up and says, done sleeping. And we just got up and got the day started, and Jeff took him on to daycare, And Sarah and Garrett were leaving the hospital that day because, you know, now they keep them overnight. Sarah, Garrett, and the baby. And so I just spent that whole day until they got home cleaning. I cleaned her house up and down as much as I could before they got home. There was just a few things I wasn't able to get done, but I love doing that for her. Because, you know, when you've just had a baby or you've been big and pregnant with a 2-year-old toddler, you can't get anything done. So we stayed with them just a little bit for them to welcome, you know, get Bodie in, and then Rowan shows up from daycare, and the other in-laws went and picked him up, and we spent just a little bit of time with them. And then Sarah was wanting the next week because her and Garrett was off, and they were just going to be the little family, just very low-key, so we left, which was fine because I understand that completely. And he's just been a dream baby. He's been very good. He nurses well. He's been sleeping 3 and 4 hour stretches. Rowan, God bless him, didn't sleep an hour at a time for a year. His first year of life, he was not a good sleeper. So Sarah's enjoying this. But so that's the first place I went since my last video. Okay, the next thing is that I'm hosting Thanksgiving at my house this year. For my son and daughter-in-law. Well, it's already passed. And then I hope y'all stuck around, because what I'm fixing to tell you has just been horrible. My cousins and his wife and 2 children. So it was us and then Jeff, you know. So I'm busy cooking. I'm cooking everything because I told him, no, don't worry. You know, I'll cook it all. That's fine. I do better cooking in the kitchen by myself, and, you know, I enjoy it. So that Wednesday morning, I started prepping on Tuesday. And that Wednesday morning, I'm cooking along. I'm getting a lot of things together so I can just pop them in the oven the next day. And I get this fraud alert on my credit card that somebody had tried to charge $1,600 at academy.com. And I've gotten many of those over the years and didn't think anything of it. I just had to cancel my credit card, blah, 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 you know the deal, and get another one. Well, some reason I didn't feel right about this one. I got one of those data security breach letters about sometime in September. I'm ashamed to say, and this was right at Thanksgiving. And I've gotten several of those over the years, and it's like I always have good intentions to deal with it and didn't. But for some reason, I felt something funny off about this. So I went and checked my email, and I bet you within 5 minutes, and I'm telling you, it's literally just constant. I was getting spam emails where I'd been signed up for tons of different websites, all different languages. I mean, it was just horrific. So, of course, I pull out that data security breach letter, and I contact the credit bureaus, you know, Equifax, all them. And I had to put a freeze on my credit. I had to put a fraud alert warning, and what else? And I'm having to monitor like the dark web, all that stuff. There's a fee that you pay. You can have a family rate or you can have an individual rate. And for peace of mind, I think for family rate it was $29 a month, and for individual it was $19. So I just did both me and Jeff. And I think I could add up 3 or 4 more people. But anyway, my name and social security number has been found on the dark web. There's been just tons of stuff. I mean, it was horrific. And everything we do in this household that possibly can be done, we do it on a credit card. Because we've traveled so much, live in so many different places. Our credit card's been stolen so many times that I don't use a debit card because it's easier to get your money back, or to, you know, not let the charge go through if it's a credit card. I mean, every online bill, everything I do, we do on a credit card, and just every time Jeff gets paid, I pay it. So it's been working for us great. So needless to say, right here, right before Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday, all that, we had no credit card. I had my debit card, but I don't like to put that on the internet. So I've had to deal with that. And if anybody's ever had to deal with that, it's horrible. Because, you know, to top it off, my Google browser, something happened to it, and it quit working completely. And I saved those long Google passwords, you know. So I had no passwords for any of my websites that I use on a regular basis. My banking, my budgeting, anything. I had nothing. So I had to do all that too. So Anyway, it's been that Thanksgiving week was extremely stressful and extremely busy, but I totally enjoyed the company. I loved hosting. I just wished I hadn't had that stress added on to me. And by the time it came time to eat, I had no appetite. I took 3 bites and that was about it. It just wore me out with all the emotional, mental stuff. So that's something that happened Thanksgiving week. Well, then last week, the end of last week, I know that this is going to be so long, and I apologize. We went home to North Carolina for 2 reasons. One, my husband has started after my mom passed away, getting his family together, and we have like a potluck and do the Dirty Santa, Secret Santa, White Elephant, whatever you call it thing. So we had that scheduled for Friday evening. So we went down really early Thursday because we have still yet to clean out the storage buildings that was on Mama's property that's being sold, long story, of all her things, everything. And so I went home to help do that. And when I tell you it was bitter cold, my lips are still chapped. My hands would go, it was horrific. But we got a lot of stuff that basically had to be thrown away because there had been mice get into some of it. But it was a lot. Mama kept everything. I'm telling you, everything she kept. So there was a lot of paperwork and stuff that we got through, and a lot of broken things from the way it was. It's a long story. It was packed up by people who didn't take care when they did. Not my family. Anyway, long story. There was a lot of damage. And I thought I'd be very emotional going through that, but I did good. We worked on it for 2 days, probably about 7 or 8 hours total. And then we had the Christmas party. And then we got home really late Friday night because I wanted to be home. And so I did that last week. And now this week I'm going to Cookville. So I'm lucky to have gotten anything done at all. So I just want to let you guys know why I've been missing again. I've just been very busy. Life has just been very busy. But next week we're going to Christmas at my son Zach and Jasmine's home. And we're so excited. We've never actually, except when we was going through the move, never went to their home for a holiday, and I cannot wait. I'm excited. So that's what's going to be going on next week. Maybe I'll be back next week. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But right now, I'm fixing to go and make 2 Santa sacks for Bodie and Rowan because Sarah and Garrett are going to do the gifts from Santa in a little Santa sack and the gifts from Mom and Daddy separate. So they, all the mystery of Christmas as far as that goes. So, but that's what I'm fixing to work on now. And I apologize for being so rambly and so scatterbrained through this, but you guys that have been with me for a long time know that's exactly how I am. So it is Tuesday. I hope to get this up by tomorrow. And if there's any questions anybody has about anything that I've got or talked about, please just send me an email or leave a comment because I read every single one of them. I love talking to you guys in the comments. But anyway, if I don't see you before Christmas, everybody have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.